welcome to the Paul Pate Podcast. Today's episode is episode number 28 or something like that. And just in case you're new to the podcast, we're on iTunes. You can find it on YouTube, and you can listen on my website at paulpate.com. So if you're more into like the audio podcast, feel free to try to find it there. If you'd like to watch it on YouTube, most of them are on YouTube. Anyway, without further ado, I'd like to welcome my guest, Deon Howard. Deon, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Deon Howard. I'm currently the president of the MSU Graphic Novels Club. Just here pretty much to talk about our upcoming publication, the MSU Graphic Novels Anthology, and also just to talk about a bit more about comics culture at MSU and my involvement with that and certain some events that we have coming up with that.
Awesome. I appreciate you coming on. Thank you. I came across the flyer about the comics forum coming up in March, I believe. Is it March?
Yes.
And so I think I'm going to go to that if I can.
Yep. So
and,
okay.
Go ahead.
The dates for that are actually that's February 27th. Or no, I'm sorry. Let me get I just want to actually pull up the real dates for that. I'm just hoping any of our viewers or any of our listeners can know. That is at Michigan State University. It's February 26th or 25th through the 27th. Okay. It's essentially like our weekend celebrating comic culture at Michigan State. We have for our keynote speaker on Friday, Sergio Aragonés. He's one of the most decorated comic book artists in America right now. And of course, we have the Artist Alley coming on that Saturday, the 27th. Mm-hmm. That's where MSU Graphic Novels Club, that's where we'll be showcasing our anthology there. So we just published that. That was our second publication we published this year. And we have 8 new stories featured in it from our members for this year. We're really excited about all the stories. The art is amazing. The stories that everybody tells are just absolutely great. So definitely check it out. And we've got previews of it up on our Facebook page. So I could probably send you some links and everything to that.
I'll definitely put it up when I post the episode of the podcast. I'll put the links up to the Facebook page and definitely try to get it out there. And I'll try to get a copy and check it out. I love stuff like this. I love the fact that you're so young, and in college I take it and started already, kind of like putting yourself out there, and that's pretty neat. Are you a comic book nerd?
Comic book nerd. Well, let me see. My involvement with comics, I guess I would say that I kind of came from comics from probably a lot of how other people from my generation came in, and that's from Japanese manga.
Okay. Yeah.
So growing up, there were a lot of like TV shows like on Toonami and certain shows like Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon that really got me into it. And then how I picked it up was reading Japanese manga. One of my first was a manga called Deon Angel. And, that really set it off. So I was actually born and raised Lansing, East Lansing area. So I would spend my summers with my brother and my sister at Barnes & Noble. And they had, on Barnes & Noble on Grand River, and they had on their first floor a section of just manga. And I'd go there and I'd just be reading manga for hours. And it was just great. And that's, I would say, that's where I got inspired to create stories and things. Like I had other friends who were, wanted to share stories and make stories, and we talk about it and everything. So that's how I really got started. I'm not as familiar with, say, the Western style comics. I'm more familiar with those through some of the animated shows and some of the movies. So I know probably, so for some of my hardcore comic book listeners out there, you guys are probably hating me right now, but
no. Not at all. I mean, I have my stepson. He's 13. Totally into manga. You know, he
Hmm.
loves it, and I think that the art is amazing and the stories look cool, and I
Hmm.
cannot understand it at all.
Hmm.
And I never got past the fact that the books go the wrong way. You know,
Hmm.
it's,
Hmm.
but I look at them and I think, oh my gosh! And from what I understand, the artists are just amazing. Like the amount of art that they put out. You know, they're just like putting out, you know, all these. You know, they're working. I don't know. They must work 24/7. You know, to put out all the artwork because it's amazing the amount of selection that you have to choose from in manga.
Oh yeah.
The content is, incredible to me. And then, but in the U.S. or the Western comics, I don't think there's as much, So I don't
Hmm.
know, but yeah, I never got past the fact that you read the wrong way. I just don't understand, but I appreciate it, and maybe I should look at it more. My stepson watches it, and the art is just incredible.
Hmm.
Now, are you an artist or a writer, or what do you consider yourself?
I am. I do both. So
Okay.
again, I think it's basically. I think I find like a lot of younger people who are like comic creators now, especially those that are influenced a lot by Japanese manga,
Mm-hmm.
and anime. You'll find that those creators generally are basically doing most of the work themselves. So they create the stories and they also do the art.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
so that's pretty much where I fall in. So I do my own. I write my own stories. And I draw my own stories. So I'm like I would say like I'm my own like comic creator.
Right.
Uh, I do both.
Awesome.
Uh,
Awesome. Now, is your one of your stories going to be in the anthology that's coming out?
yes, yes. One of my stories. It's actually one of the surprise stories in there. It's called Daisuke Saves the Day. I had this character I've basically been playing around with for a while. Kind of based off of like some of my own experiences and some of
Mm-hmm.
the things I really like about, some Japanese like influence and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a character called Daisuke, and
Okay.
he can basically, he starts off as just like a normal, spiky haired boy, but he can transform into, a more powerful form where he's like really fast and he can throw fireballs.
Uh huh.
uh, so in that story, there's like this, this ultimate enemy that he faces, and we can see, whether or not he conquers him or not. I'll let you guys find out, once you guys check it out for yourselves. But
Okay.
yes, that's essentially that, and it's like a character I've kind of developed, and this is kind of like, um, when I was younger, I had like some ideas and I wrote like down some scripts, but now that I've gotten a bit more comfortable with drawing. Actually, I spent like most of last year doing a lot more, cartooning. I was actually one of the cartoonists for the state news for a year,
Oh,
and
awesome.
so just doing that more consistently helped me to be more comfortable. There's also well, okay, I'll get into that a little bit more, but there's also a comic book class at Michigan State taught by a professor named Ryan Clater.
Okay.
Um, And so he teaches a comic book class at Michigan State, and that really kind of like, really gave me a really good introduction to how to, create, publish, and sell my own comic, and that really put me, up on my feet as far as like knowing how to, really create something.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
yep, and
Yeah.
so
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, I guess like in this story, I just kind of wanted to, reintroduce like this character and just kind of, be able to tell like a short story just to kind of show, my basically coming up from like kind of like this dream of like making a character and stuff from a long time ago to
Mm-hmm.
now finally being able to put something out.
Yeah. How many pages is it?
That one is 5 pages.
Okay.
So essentially the anthology is a collection of like short stories. So I
Mm-hmm.
just got a little preview for any of the viewers here.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I saw this on your Facebook page. Oh, that looks beautiful. Beautiful.
Yes.
That's kind of cool, right? So this is your second or this is the second anthology of your group. Is this the first one that you were in or
This is the third anthology
Oh,
that we
okay.
have.
Oh, okay.
Um, as you can see, it's very Smash Brothers inspired, which is 100% intentional.
Cool.
Um, We
It looks great.
the artist who made the cover, her name is Danny Pascal, so just quick plug in for her.
All right.
But yeah, so 8 stories. Some of them are very long, like how I kind of designed it, because we have multiple students within the club at Michigan State. So I kind of designed the anthology to be, you know, make something that you can finish. None of this like,
Amen, brother.
yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
So, just concentrate just short stories. I put a 5-page minimum, and that's what I did, just to, more or less set the standard. But, these people who are in the club, they go above and beyond. So you
Right.
got some people, do like 23 pages, some people doing like 16 pages, and it's just 100% amazing just how awesome and dedicated these guys are in their stories. So,
Oh, awesome. Cool. That's great to hear, man. I love it. I went to Michigan State, and I never even tried to be the cartoonist at the state news. A big regret of mine. Not that I would have done it, been able to at the time, but I didn't even try. So, congratulations on doing that. That's great. And there was something else I was going to tell you, but I can't remember now. But the thing that you said about do something you can finish, I think that's a great advice for anybody that's doing like, is interested or think they might want to do something in any creative endeavor. But let's talk about comics. If you're an artist or a writer, you want to. There's no, especially this day and age with self-publishing and the web and everything. Get something out there and get started, and
mhm.
and complete something, a project. And like you said, you can be your own writer, you can be your own creator. But if you're not say you're an artist and you hook up with a writer, find somebody that's like-minded, that wants to complete something and put something out there. And that's what you guys have done. And I just think that's fantastic. So you guys are well on your way, man. That's cool. That's cool.
Thank you.
Hey, but now I noticed that you're not like what I picture like the comic book nerd. You're kind of flashy kind of guy,
Oh,
is,
I mean,
is,
I probably was
is
like,
that
I
why they made you
literally,
president?
I it could have something to do with that. I don't know. I mean, other than
Sorry to
like,
put you on the
I
spot, man.
no, it's perfectly fine. I actually like just got out of work, so like that's why I'm not usually just like always just tappered and dressed up and everything. So same time, I also wanted to look nice for the viewers and everything. So never know who's watching.
My mom, she's on there. um, oh, I know what I was going to tell you. That's cool what you said too about your class and the professor.
Hmm.
Um, I've had experiences like that where I've like years ago I took a figure drawing class and just kind of like random kind of thing. And after I took that class, all of a sudden it was about figure drawing, but I could draw hands. I wasn't struggling anymore with hands. I don't know if you struggle with drawing hands, but I mean, you know, so there's always like these moments in life where you kind of like it's a watershed, where you take it to the next level. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? So that sounds like what happened to you with your your class there, which is crazy. The Michigan State has a class in
Hmm.
comics. That's cool.
So, I mean, there's actually a whole lot going on more recently, like with comics in Michigan State. Unfortunately, it's like, as soon as like I'm graduating, all this cool stuff is happening. But
Oh, really?
uh, yeah, but Michigan State, they're really moving a lot towards pushing graphic novels as like a real medium for study. And
Mm-hmm.
also like so like as of right now, as I said, there's a class taught by a professor named Ryan Clater. About it's a comic class, so you get to
Mm-hmm.
like make and create your own comic. And Michigan State is actually developing a comics minor. So if you're
Wow.
interested in learning more about not only just like studying but creating your own comics,
Mm-hmm.
between the the College of Arts and Letters and also the Communication Arts College.
Wow.
They're developing that. So there's a professor, Gary Hoppenstan. He's our advisor for the club, and he's also teaching some classes with that. Another professor, Stacy Fox, who also teaches political cartoons and animation in the Communication Arts Building or
Yeah.
the Communication Arts College. She's heading up. She's doing classes for that. So
Wow.
I think a lot of that has to do with some of the more recent Marvel and like DC movies that are coming out, and we can actually there's actually what was it? The newest Batman movie that's coming out.
Batman and Superman.
Right. Some of that was actually filmed at Michigan State
Oh,
University.
right, right, right. Okay.
So there's really a lot more going on, with comics, and there are lots of careers involved in comics, especially now. We had one of the speakers who's also one of the writers for let's see, I want to look this up really quick. I
No
just
problem. No problem. No problem.
um, let's see. All right.
How many people are in your club?
Let's see. We have 10 paid members. We usually have an average of about 15 members. Oh, that's who I wanted to. Jeff Johns. So he's
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah. He's, yep, big
so
executive at Marvel, right? Or DC, I mean.
yep, DC. So yeah, he actually came and spoke at Michigan State for an event there. So Michigan's like getting more involved with comics, and so
Right.
the is being developed, and hopefully there'll be a major there too, and we're gonna see more involvement with that.
Cool. Wow, that's awesome. That's wild. I I took a political cartooning class while I was there. It was just a kind of a one-off thing. Had this great cartoonist Oliver Harrington, but I mean, it was nothing. There was no majors, and that was just a one-off kind of thing. Um, but they have always had there at Michigan State the a world-renowned comics collection, right? Do you know anything
Yeah.
about that?
Yes, so Michigan State does have the largest collection of comic books just within the library. So if you ever have a chance to go in, they're actually doing tours of that Saturday at the Comics Forum. So
Oh,
sign
really?
up. Yep. So
Apparently, one of my books is there. So
mm,
this is what I'm told. So
so you have to come in there, promote your book.
yeah, no, I'm gonna check it out when I come in. I'm gonna hopefully find you guys. And I've never done a comic book convention before, like got an artist alley.
hmm
So I want to do that coming up. This year I want to try that for the first time. And
Yeah.
so I'm excited to see what those are about. Um, you guys are gonna have a table set up. Is that what's
Yes, we will have a table set up. So this will be our second year. Well, all right, let me think. No, yeah, this will be our second year at the Comics Forum. But getting a table, it's a very, um, I guess it's a very enlightening experience.
Oh yeah.
I remember like probably like 2 years ago, um, when I was first starting to get everything rolling with like getting into comics and everything. When I
Mm-hmm.
kind of mustered up the courage and just kind of started out. I was one of those guys like going up to the tables asking them the question like probably what every aspiring artist wants to know, like, well, how do you make a comic, how do you be in
Yeah.
that position and get the table.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget this, the first guy that told me, he said, if you ever wanted to make a comic, the thing that you have to do is make a comic. And,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It
you
would
know,
seem so simple, but man, for years I was one of those people. Now you're young, so you know, that's what's I think is great. You started, but there's
mhm,
so many people. I'm guilty of it too. Of just talk that are just talk. You know,
mhm,
just talk, 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 talk. Yeah, you got to make a comic, right? Just shut up, go home, and draw or write or whatever it is you do until you're done, right? And then put
right.
it out there. Yeah. yeah. May seem simple to you, but I've seen so many people just talk about this and talk about that, but it's not. It's rare the person that actually follows through and completes it. So,
Oh,
yeah, I think that. Yeah, yeah,
oh, absolutely. I think there really is, because like I mean, this is what you're discussing and everything. Like this is like I've been thinking about this for like really the longest time, just something I really wanted to do. But
mm-hmm,
I think one of the key factors about that is like, and I feel like this goes for like a lot of like art disciplines in general, is just kind of like the sense of fear. You
mm-hmm,
know,
mm-hmm,
I people are afraid that, their work isn't going to be good. They might be afraid that they're not going to sell something, or, for whatever reason, there's this real fear that prevents a lot of people from, starting anything, and especially like taking that step. And that's something that, really troubled me for, years. And, it's still like there's still some things I really want to like produce and everything, but it's just like, really just that fear of getting past that, what if I fail? What if this doesn't turn out the way I want? And
yeah, yeah.
yeah, so
Well,
I think,
you've taken that initial step, but I don't think you ever get over that.
yeah,
You're always going to be nervous and how things are going to be accepted. But I'm telling you, you should be proud of yourself for what you've done so far. And I can't wait to follow you as you go along. Man, it's awesome. I had no idea you guys were around. A friend of mine sent me the flyer, and I was like, look at this. Some students doing this, and then I started digging in a little bit, and I was like, wow, you guys are great. So yeah, man, you're gonna be on your way. I'm telling you, it's great. It's great, really. Um, I just wanted to tell you about a couple things. I've had a few guests on here from the Michigan Comics Collective, which is a group. They meet up in Saginaw Bay City area, and they produce some real professional level comics. And it's similar, it's just a group of people that get together and they, um, writers, artists, and anybody that, business, they do everything and they try to do a top-notch professional job,
mm,
and they produce great comics, great art, great stories. So
mm,
if you're ever interested in working in that kind of thing, look those guys up. And anytime you ever need like encouragement or advice, I'm not, I'm no professional, but I'll always give you encouragement, and I think you're on the right track. What I
oh,
can say. So yeah, keep it up, dude.
well, thanks.
Yeah.
I'll definitely. I didn't. I hadn't. I wasn't familiar with that, but I'll definitely, look into that. I'm just looking at some of the information right now. But
Oh.
I saw your profile. I don't think you're giving yourself that much credit, because I feel like, looking at your website and everything, you're living the dream. You got like illustrations, you got comics, you do animations, you got your own podcast blog. Like, I guess just, a quick question for you, just like, how does it feel to like, kind of be doing all that and kind of like, being your own man with all that, creative work? Like, how does that feel?
Oh, it's fun. It's fun. But mostly it's like you said, just make it. So it's hours and hours of solitary, um, speculation. I mean, spend so many hours working on things, and you know, it's almost embarrassing. It's like, you put all this effort into something, you don't know if it's going to be accepted, or or it might not. I'm not making millions of dollars off it or anything, but
Mm,
I just, it's a passion of mine. I feel it's a gift, and I don't want to waste it, So
yeah.
I'm following my dreams and in hopes of encouraging others to do the same. So I like to see, I like talking to people about it, and yeah, so it's fun, and I think that's what we're supposed to do, So
Oh yeah.
especially as artists, if you got to do it, just do it. And I'm getting better. I'm learning. I see people that are amazing, and I sometimes here's something that I'm sure you've felt. See some art. I just recently a friend showed me Robert Valley, this incredible animator who animates the gorillas. Have you, I don't know if you've heard of the gorillas, but his animation's incredible. I watched some of his animation and I was like, I need to quit right now. You know, you know what I mean? But there's always going to be somebody better than you. But you never know who's also looking at you, going, you know, hey man, I want to try that. So, yeah, I just keep it on. So,
Oh yeah.
I love this stuff. It's fun. So
Yeah. See, I think that's pretty much. I feel like no matter at what level, you're always going to feel that there is somebody better than you. I've got one girl in in the club right now. She basically does like, extremely professional manga, like the manga style. Like I've seen and I'm, one of them. Like there's definitely like, developing like manga artists who, are working, more or less with the form, but she's got it 100% hands down. Like her work looks like literally came out, straight from Japan.
Right.
Her name is Yiga Wu, and like she's amazing. But she looks at another artist, another one of our artists. Her name is Catherine Lopez, and she's like, oh my gosh, like you're so much better. And I'm like, like you're doing fine. Like you don't get discouraged. Like I feel like everybody within art, everybody's at different levels, and we all just do things differently.
Yeah. No, look, I look at artists and I get jealous and I get bitter and I go, oh, I hate that person, and then I go, all right, fine, and then I take my little moment to be, I have my little moment, and then I start drawing because it's like they're great, so let them inspire me, but. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Spend plenty of time getting jealous. But I don't know. There's nothing wrong with that. So,
no.
Yeah, it's awesome.
As long as you use it to get better.
Yeah. So cool. All right, listen. Every guest that I have at the end of the show, I put them on a deserted island, and I kind of do like a rapid fire thing where they're supposed to take 5 items. But I tell you what those items are. Okay?
All right.
So you're on a deserted island, and you get to take one dessert. What would that be?
One dessert would be my mom's cheesecake. She makes the greatest cheesecake in the world, hands down.
Awesome.
So it's got to be that.
You were very decisive on that. That's very sweet. Nice. Okay. You get to take one, like, writing utensil or drawing utensil. Is it going to be, what would it be?
One drawing utensil?
Yeah. I mean, do you have a favorite?
That would, let me see. It's these, what do you call these? It's a more professional grade brush. Like this will save you for anything, because for one, I can't take, a tablet because you need a laptop for that. For two, these are a bit more versatiles. For thicker and thinner lines, a bit hard to control. I can't remember what the name of them, but it's a brush pen.
Okay, do you dip that in ink, or does it have ink in it?
No, it's loaded with an ink cartridge already. So you can get more of a variety of different strokes between light and dark.
Right.
Yeah. So
is it almost so it's like a felt tip marker, except it's got like a brush to it, like real soft. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm probably shaming the comic artist community right now, because I can't remember out of the top of my head what the name of that brush is. But
no, I've seen people use those, and I tried it for a while, and I have a difficult time with them. But
yeah, but I'm just asking you guys right now. Just please forgive me. If this, just put it in the comments. What it is, and.
We'll Google it in a minute. Okay, back to the deserted island. So you got some cheesecake and a pen. What would be your favorite? What you get to take one comic? What would it be?
One comic. You know what? I'd go for One Piece.
One Piece.
Yes, One Piece. I'm reading it right now. I'm very much behind, but I'm reading it right now. But that's got over, what, 700 chapters to read.
Oh, really?
So yeah, so I've definitely, I'm not going to be bored. I'll always have something to do as long as.
For a long time, you'll have new material.
Yes.
So is that manga?
Yes.
One Piece. Okay.
It's actually the highest selling manga in Japan right now.
Oh, okay. I'll have to ask my son about it. See if I need to get enlightenment or education on manga. So I'm out of the loop on that. But maybe I need to get into it. Okay, we got two more items. One album.
One album.
Yeah. Do we call them albums anymore? One CD. They don't call it a CD.
One. I'd say Confessions by Usher.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. Usher is my favorite entertainer.
Uh-huh.
Second to Michael Jackson, of course, but personal favorite entertainer. And Confessions, there's just no beating that. I can listen to that that came out 11 years now. It came out 11 years now, and I can still bump that, and I love it. So Confessions by Usher all day.
Right. To me, that just came out like last year. I love that. I love that album. It's 11 years ago, did you say?
Yes, it came out 2000. Oh shoot, maybe it could have been 12 because I think it came out in 2004 actually.
Wow. When you get to be my age, the years just fly by. I mean, that's one of my favorites by all time too. That's cool. All right. Last one. You get to take one actress with you.
One actress. That is so hard. Wow. Really get one actress. I'm trying to think. I have not even been to the movies in a while. So I'm trying to think somebody from one of my favorite movies. Let's see. I'll probably say Taraji Henson. She plays Cookie on Empire.
Yeah.
Not only is she very beautiful and talented, but she's those acting abilities, whatever situation we can get in. She's played so many roles by now. She'll be able to switch to something that'll help us out with anything.
Right. Good thinking. All right. Hey, I haven't watched Empire, but I did watch Hustle and Flow, which is the same. It's not like a sequel to that or anything, is it?
It's, you know what? People probably say that, and it would make a lot of sense for it to be. It might be some things that are based off of that, but no, it's not a sequel to that. It's a story in and of itself. Oh, okay. But very, very dramatic, very powerful, story. Very easy to get engaged in. So if you haven't checked it out,
yeah, my wife and I were gonna find a new show to watch. Maybe we'll start watching that. I might check that out.
Oh yeah.
All right, man. That's the end of the show. Thanks for coming on. Really.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Appreciate it. I like that you're young and you've got your whole life ahead of you, and it was, Michigan State, go State. So East Lansing or Lansing native? Where are you from?
East Lansing. Yeah, I'm originally from Lansing.
Okay.
I live out in East Lansing right now.
Okay. What high school did you go to?
Sexton High School.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, man. Okay, Deon, thanks for coming on. I'll shoot you a note when this is up, and let's keep in touch. I'm going to come see you at the Comics Forum.
All right. I'll be looking forward to it. Oh, yeah.
All right. All right, take care.
All right, thanks for having me on.